Hey everybody, it's Cynthia Dorsey, and tonight I want to speak about something that's very dear to my heart. I believe that animal cruelty laws should be much more sterner than they are. I can speak about this from personal experience due to an animal that I helped rescue a couple of years ago. This animal was near death and lived that way for almost a year. I called the police department, I called the Humane Society, I called everyone that you can imagine, veterinarians. No one could help me. They came out, they looked at the dog, they said he had food, water, shelter, and he was good to go. I fed the dog for almost a year, and at that point he was just malnutrition, emaciated. So finally I got a hold of the SPCA, and they came out, and this is what they found, and I call this Bruno's death trap. This is a little box that Bruno lived in for his entire year, and probably longer. That's just where they found him. When the SPCA came out there, they immediately took control of the dog. The owner came out, claimed the dog, claimed that they had been feeding him, there was nothing wrong with the dog, and they had surrendered the dog with no choice. Bruno was in shock when he was rescued. He was in shock. They immediately took him to the vet. Per Dr. Lehman at Village Veterinary in Maryville, Tennessee, Bruno was so emaciated, his temperature would not even register on the thermometer. So Bruno began his fight for life. This took at least 6 to 8 weeks. Bruno had every kind of parasite, heartworm that you can imagine. During that time, the owner was taken to court. The owner, instead of serving any jail time, was put on probation for 3 years and mandated to pay the fines. This has been 4 years later now. The owner has 3 new dogs and 2 cats. What's to say what's going to happen to those animals? Nothing was done with the owner, no restrictions put on him. So there you go. Another case was a dog that was set on fire. This was reported by WBIR. The owners got, again, probation. These laws have got to be stricter. Bruno, after 6 weeks, was able to be adopted by a family in Pennsylvania. And as you can imagine, this made national news. If you go to WBIR.com, you can look it up. Bruno was a survivor. The only reason that Bruno survived is because we had caring people, not because any of the stiff laws. In Maryville, Tennessee, when you abandon or abuse a dog, you get probation. According to the SPCA, there are thousands of dogs each year that are found dead, abandoned, or homeless. If these dogs are lucky enough to make it into the shelter, they may possibly be able to be adopted. That's if they haven't been so far mistreated and gone that there's nothing they can do. If this was a child, would our laws do this? I say no, they would not. They would absolutely not. These 4-legged creatures have no one but us to fight for them. Our laws have got to be tougher. Bruno was very lucky to find a family in Pennsylvania. About 8 months after he was with that family, they decided to bring him back to Maryville, Tennessee to see what they called his angels. And you can imagine how excited I was to see this 20-something pound dog go from emaciated, starving to death to a 56-pound, full-grown, at his potential dog. And this was Bruno when he came to see me at the store. And you can tell he's put on all the weight. He now lives in Pennsylvania with his pit bull sister, Violet. He travels. Bruno has now become a therapy dog. And all because a few caring people cared enough to tell his story. Most of these laws, if you write your congressman, they can be amended. But it takes more than one person to do this. It takes a community. I hope this has informed you about animal cruelty and the need for stiffer laws. Please visit your SPCA, your local congressman. Get involved with that local animal shelter. Even if you can't volunteer or foster, you can still help with dog food. You can do anything that you need. And they've got to hear from us. So I would say that laws absolutely need to be tougher. These people that abuse these animals are criminals, just like thieves, just like robbers, just like sex offenders, and I work with those every day. So I absolutely feel like these people need to be put in.
you're going to film us.
Yeah, it's just a short audience.
Does anybody have any questions? So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope this does persuade you to get involved with animals and animal cruelty. Thank you.